This is the AFLA Board of Director meeting. It is July 17th, 2015. We can go around the room and start with introductions. And then move to approve the minutes for the meeting agenda. We can go ahead and get started.
Hi everybody, I'm Melanie Russell.
I'm David Turner, Assistant Director.
Michael Kundick, Executive Director. I'm David Brooks with Revolution United.
Jasmine Back, friend of AFLA and artist. Naomi Sunshine, I'm the Artistic Director.
And Laurel, you have to say your
I
second.
have to say something. I'm Laurel, I'm visiting.
Cool. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda for the meeting? I, David Brooks, move to approve the minutes for today.
Second.
Yeah, say your name in a second.
David Turner, second.
All right, all in favor? Cool. Let's go ahead and move forward. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, it's first on the agenda. Final forward. Okay. So, AFLA has been out dating its board for a little while now. David Brooks given us some excellent legal advice and has stepped in as fiscal sponsor. We're ready to take that step and be official. And our current vote and discussion has been that we would vote in Melanie Russell as treasurer and David Turner as secretary, myself as chairman, David Brooks as vice chairman, and Blackburn as board member. With that, with the exception of a possible addition, with this current group, I propose that is what we move forward with. Does anyone second that motion? I'll say aye.
Aye.
Okay, awesome. Well, the next step will be to, if I may, work with you to double check which documents I need to get into the state. You can do that.
Right.
Via email.
Yeah, the first document that we're going to have to flesh out is the Articles of Incorporation. You guys have a bank account, right? You guys have already submitted. In order to have that, to get your tax ID number, you would have to submit that already. So you don't have to necessarily resubmit that. But what you do need to submit is your bylaws. And that is something that we should be working on here before, since like bylaws are in essence figuring out what our policies are, what exactly happens to, like what our terms are as board members, what exactly our expectations would be, those sorts of things. So that's an ongoing document that we need to be developing, and I'd like to propose actually working on that at the next meeting, allocating at least 45 minutes of an hour and a half. And I think this meeting ideally I would be not an hour, or at an hour. But yes, bylaws, that's really the only thing remaining.
Okay.
Then
we can update the new board members with the state.
Right.
Through the Articles of Incorporation. Is that,
And then
do you just have to change it, or do we have to submit all of it?
it's a combination of both. Like it's a new document that you have to submit. So yeah, it's a new paper, but it would be beneficial to submit it, because you guys probably have a new address on the PO box. That might be beneficial because it seems like none of us have a super stable house there too. We all purchased and we're gonna be there for the next 50 years. And a PO box is something that I'm definitely going to do.
Okay. Well, let's find time and go over that. We're going to meet again. Fridays are kind of not the best time for you as for board meetings. Right, so we're going to shoot for Tuesdays.
Are you available on Tuesdays, Melanie?
What time?
5:30.
are usually available after 7, correct?
Tuesdays are a little difficult right now. I get off at 6, but then I have an appointment every Tuesday at 6:30. It goes until 7, so it can be after that.
I'm
Wait,
definitely
when do
want
you normally have
to.
to there?
We're doing it.
At work.
And David too, if he were to go back to his work, he gets off late as well. I know weekends are hard for people, but just gotta find somewhere.
I could potentially do Wednesdays or Thursdays at 5:30 as well.
Do you get off early enough?
Wednesdays are hard here.
Do you get off at 5:30?
I can get off
So we have bi-weekly Wednesday board meetings at 5:30. Object. Be due to us being out of town next week, already meeting today. Let's have that begin a week from next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which would be,
Is that it?
what date is that?
Yeah.
So we from next Wednesday,
So not this next Wednesday.
so the 29th.
So the 29th? Okay. So Wednesday the 29th will be our next meeting at 5:30. So, yeah. Okay, cool.
And where will we be meeting?
Church and state.
And how is the situation with church and state? Is that something working with them?
Oh, absolutely. I'm developing a proposal for us to integrate our resources right now as well. So that they'll have access to all of our sharing and stuff, all of our weapon making, everything, pretty much everything that I was trying to do with the Nexus, turn that all over into the church and state. Augmenting their
Awesome. Okay. Cool, so that's what it'll be. What we'll put next on the agenda here?
Goals.
Goals. Well, I'd like to shut that up. Who has a goal?
Goals and dates, I feel like not only just a goal, but let's try and set a date so that we're actually trying to achieve these. And at the beginning of each meeting, we can look at these goals and dates to see exactly where we're at. Like, okay, what's our progress on this? Are we close to this? We need to adjust our time frame, that type of stuff. So whatever goal we do propose and decide, let's try to take.
I think it's always good to have short-term and long-term goals.
So
Yeah.
So let's put short-term as by next week. That'll be the short-term.
Okay.
That, all right. So by next meeting, I would like to have handled the legality. Is that a good short-term goal?
Meaning the articles of incorporation and
No, we'll have to do the bylaws the next time, right?
Yeah,
There
we're
is-
discussing it.
there still is a fiscal agency document.
Yeah, but we need to go, right? So we really should meet separately for the next meeting. And then have.
So a goal will be prepared to come in and set up the bylaws.
So by the next meeting, we'll have everything prepared to finish discussing bylaws and the documents so we can approve
I think by next week as well. I feel like I would love to agenda set up it's like a loadout for our classes that we're discussing.
Outline.
I think we need to introduce that whole topic before we
Have it as a goal.
but yes, we should make progress on something that we're about to go keep into.
Yeah, a curriculum that we're going to introduce to our, we're going to start introducing with our volunteers and as a way for us to sustain ourselves as an organization and get around.
That might be a long time. Should I get you some info?
Well, I actually have one of the books in March to this.
I think the topics
Yeah.
that we want to cover is a good goal to have ready.
Yeah.
Like details of how and when and like, you know, the costs and locations, that's earlier on. But I think we can have a good outline, all the dark stuff we should learn. And then we will return, we can go, oh, well, what about this, what was that one, fill in some gaps, you know, for our, so, it's a good one.
My goal would be to incorporate more artistic development. I would like to see if our community is open to designing the gardens. So having artists kind of, that's their painting and they sign off on the entire garden. And they work with someone who landscaping and the functionality of the plants. But then they get a kind of shape the aesthetic.
You know, just occurred with, like, you know, how you were doing those mock-ups for your garden, for that, for this. Imagine if we were starting on a new project, you know how oftentimes a construction company will have like a big sign of what it's going to look like? If it was a really beautiful piece of art, what the garden is going to look like, that could be.
This might be a long-term goal, I'm not sure.
Could you work that?
Yeah, so I'd like to incorporate the local artistic community into developing the gardens with the landscapers, like our senior project manager, and with the agricultural directors, so people who plants and the landscape. Artists come in and do the visual on them. So they would plan the mural, they would help design the layout of the plants or of the walkways, fencing, or like a theme, even the theme of the garden.
Or at least have an artist work directly with the garden expert at the same time as the project. So it's
Because how optional would it be if you're driving along and you happen upon the fairy garden, the fairy AFLA garden, and you get taken into a magical realm? You're gonna remember that experience, and you're gonna share that with your friends. And as an artist, like that is something that I think will draw them in to that
Last thing, idea there, if we want to see if people are interested in that, why not take submissions from artists to draw their vision of a beautiful creative garden and get, like, because that's sellable, that's
I
beautiful
think
art
if we have
in and of
measurements,
itself.
if we have a lot that we know we're gonna get, then we can give artists measurements. Otherwise, it's maybe a little too expansive for an artist, to kind of like figure out how to design a garden, but if you say, hey, here are the guidelines that within like your creative expression, then they're, okay, I can understand that.
And they probably would be more excited, if they saw an actual property possibility. And then
So it sounds like instead of having a goal with getting artists, because that seems like the secondary thing, it would be a goal to get a property a month or to obtain more properties. Because you can't even begin to be like, hey, we have this potential property, this one plans to do this one thing.
Okay. Then that would probably be more of a long-term goal and to get those properties, and a short-term goal would be like, we need a mural for Central City Club. So let's focus on doing a mural, like getting those smaller elements in the garden to them.
Okay.
Because I don't know where we're at in.
I think by the next meeting, we can locate one possible property and take pictures of it. And,
On the fresh market, or on the shelter.
or even, Jasmine's maybe, she's got a yard she wants to work on.
So go ahead and,
It doesn't look great right now, but a picture and it's a man.
well, it's been, people have been worried that land. Recording, when I was like,
The next short-term goal I got to finish with here is by next meeting, I've got to stop worrying about how to structure our business. Because besides the role of like treasurer or legal advice, our group, artists, builders, gardeners, most of us don't have a degree or don't need a degree in order for this movement to succeed, okay? Which means that we can have a lot of people sometimes, or we can be dropped down to just two things in a way. So our structure, like, I can't think of it like a big CEO top floor, we're all sitting, and, we've got our board members and hierarchy every time set up, and it's difficult. So I have a couple different ideas of how to structure it. One's a little more hierarchical, and one's a little more outside the box. And by next meeting, I'd like to everybody put some thought into it, talk to me about it, and I'll kind of brainstorm some more, even individually, and see what works. Because I don't want to devalue anyone's contributions to the group, but I also don't want to lose help because of some kind of like arbitrary title. There might be two people that are equally good at planning an event, and if I have to pick one to say you're the AFLA events coordinator, then the other person's skills and talents and their whole network, that dissipates. They could each do a different event and could all be part of a wider spread, organization. So I want to look at a couple different options, so and decide by next week.
Okay, 25 minutes.
Okay.
So, let's try to get this. These are our goals.
So, long-term goals. I say, once we're done with the bylaws, this next meeting, the next two following meetings should focus on a strategic development plan, so that we're specifically having these objectives and it's all laid out, so we don't have to keep trying to think about stuff. Just putting all of our thought into a document, so that we're able to just like refer to it, be like, all right, this is what we need to do. And having that allows for you to be that much more effective with achieving those actual plans. So I think what would be August, beginning of September, having a strategic plan will be fleshed out for the next year.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that strategic plan includes fundraising, marketing, all those sorts of things.
Jess, that one, yeah, hasn't. What do you think?
I like kind of going back to a little bit of the cut and dry, I guess you could say, get this many properties interested, you could say it in terms of maybe short-term canvas to this many folks, use different types of media to get people interested, and then the long-term goal could be, say, 1 a month, maybe you can have it to 2 a month, and then try to see if I can get to 3 or 4, because at my work, that's how goals are set, just look at what you've been doing last year. Like this.
So,
I have an idea based
so
on that.
a good one would be like 3 volunteers per month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then if we have a certain amount of volunteers, then we know how many more properties we can get. Like, oh, we're this many that needs something. How big the property is.
And by next meeting, we really do need to have our volunteers, our volunteer system handled. We really gotta know what our database is like. How to add them, when to get them, how to stay in touch, be friendly, get everybody out. And just so FENGSHUL.
It is bank.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What an FENGSHUL.
Okay.
We'll figure it all out.
So those are our goals. You take a goal.
Well, I thought, yeah, with you specifically, I'd like to establish a financial routine and protocol for the organization's transparency.
Okay, so one thing I do normally, just for small businesses, is I create a financial set, and it's an income statement and balance sheet. It doesn't make as much sense for a nonprofit, but there are a lot of other reports we can pull, and I can just each month or quarter, whatever makes more sense to you guys, pull those reports so we can see as it's going along.
So that would be a long-term goal, right? So pulling reports.
Short term, we need to get you on the bank account.
And
Also,
go over how we want everything categorized, and then once I know that, I can just go through and get it all sorted as soon as I see it.
I want to be a part of that meeting too, because those numbers will directly reflect on our IRS report.
Yes.
So those, and just being in accordance with what Revolution United is doing, so those numbers can just be directly in the same category.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So next on the agenda,
because we could potentially put David as a view only on the Oakley.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say too with that, we can actually organize, we can categorize each project that we do. Like, so if I wanted to say, hey, this is how much the U project has been, it could generate a report and show just those expenses, as long as I've entered them correctly.
We may have to create separate categories for each individual project, like you review supplies, you review this, and then you have another category. Because like we don't have subcategories right now. It's just one location of us. So we don't have subcategories, so we can't go materials and this is. So we have to make each individual category, but we can never set it up.
Okay, cool.
report on struggles and successes.
Can you repeat the goals, just real quick?
Okay, so the next meeting we're having is an hour and a half. We've got PO box. We can get PO box Tuesdays bi-weekly starting on the 29th. So update on them, short term on incorporation of certain curriculum classes are artists incorporated into landscape, feng shui, artists for Central Simcoe, property pass around. Next week to develop, next 2 meetings we need to develop long-term plans. Great plan for next year, 3 volunteers and 1 financial school in the mail. For program, get her on a bank account. Guys, whatever.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Thankfully, we have it all in a.
So our next on the agenda report, and let's make this one short, guys. Because the sodium time is next on the agenda.
Let's go 3 positives and 3 struggles. 3 biggest.
3 positives. Central Civico last weekend's volunteer day was fantastic. We had probably 8 or 9 in the morning and then 5 in the evening, all in 1 day. Big success with Emily's involvement, deciding to really add the art to Centro that it's kind of a power strength. And she came in and made the trellises and everything into a lot more beautiful, and I was probably ready for that. Really proud of the day that we all planted. Jasmine came up. We had help getting the new perennials and all those interesting plants from our expert pro review project. I think I was worried we wouldn't get it done that day. Melanie helped, David helped, and we got it done by nightfall. It's really, really exciting.
So the project is finished.
It's not finished, but
We
it
got
is.
plans to go.
Plenty of it. And it's good. We got to finish some rock skating and a tree and build a bench. And then
Even
put it in the water system.
Even docking all of the hours so far.
I have not been knocking hours.
Well, I have lots of videos and very accurate. In the morning, I like to do before and afters, time-lapse videos and stuff.
We've got media, but we have not been tracking the volunteer hours.
Well, just overall hours put into this, because I know I'm assuming that some people will be paid out. the same time. So just being able to track this, so in the future, we're able to really see what it takes to do
Yeah,
this.
you'll be able to accurately, with the people I got in the photo, the timestamps in the photos.
When we sync the bank account, we pull out a report and we'll look at how many days we spend on it, and at least estimate the hours. We'll know how far over budget we definitely know over budget.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's why he was so stoked. He was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like whatever you guys need. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we over budgeted and,
Under budget.
and that's just what happened. But the thing is, it is becoming a gorgeous showcase, and now we know what it is we can provide the community, and we'll be able to accurately do that in the future, and I have fun mistakes.
So that's 2 successes or is that 3?
That's
Okay, struggles.
We totally didn't know how much budget there is. So there's
Um,
we haven't put up a volunteer call out for Sunday yet.
for tomorrow.
what happened on Sunday?
That's right.
So we have our regulars, so they all know it already. But we want to get more people, for sure.
And we lost 2 volunteers that were interested from that party.
Yeah, that was when
Oh,
How'd you listen?
you still
they're not
know
lost. I found them.
they were lost.
Oh,
now
literally
they're found.
lost it. I'm like, how did we lose them? It's not offended?
No,
We literally
we
just
talked
find
to them.
Okay.
Forgot the names.
I got them on my Facebook. I just
Okay,
went
okay.
back to my
Party last night.
back when we did extravaganza. I got them on my Facebook. All I had to do is go back to that day and activity level.
Never mind then. Yeah.
Well, we're really unorganized. All of our stuff is everywhere, and it has really no real home. Like we got stuff at David's, we got stuff that San Pacifico, we got stuff at UAA's. None of it's really organized. UAA kind of looks like it's falling apart a little bit, but you know, like half an hour by all. But it's just kind of like a manifestation.
We need a car wash.
We definitely need to organize all of our stuff.
You get to inventory it and just make sure all of it is marked with the words AFLA on it, so the show doesn't disappear or et cetera. Important things.
Very important. Asset security.
Which definitely had some struggles with.
The aquaponics system. Is that it?
That is not.
I could. Got all from knowledge, I could get it running. It's not, whoever built that, we can, they put a volcanic rock in there, way too acidic.
There's a property that's been talking to Michael and I about aquaponics. So we can kind of incorporate their property too, or just keep an eye on it. I'm sure they're down to like visit it or learn from it. Do education. I'm sure they'll take you with it.
It's a well-built structure. I'm sure we can do something.
Well, James Illumis just asked for people to come out and transform his old system to the software, his aquaponics system, so that'd be a good opportunity.
That's a good way to get a free workshop too, is actually drive to them and help. Otherwise, it's quite pricey. LOOMINS. He charges quite a bit when he does workshops in town, so
Very good.
definitely, I'd even rent him a truck if you want to go there and get some. I don't know, not too far north.
I'd say,
Well, anyways,
so that was our next agenda is the sodium ions, the big one. You guys, we only have like 12 minutes, so I don't think we can do this on the agenda once we start this.
okay, so what is the rest of the agenda? We have the sodium ion, we have the organizational structure, and is there anything else?
Fiduciary responsibility. Regarding fiduciary responsibility, it falls on my shoulders, my organization, Share Revolution. Anything that you guys do, what we do, that's why I'm super happy to be a part of this board. Just go do your thing. And I think working with Melanie is going to be crucial, making sure that
So the things is sodium hype. The first agenda here is let's schedule a date to work just on the sodium hype as soon as possible. Because I'm so excited for it. David's so excited for it.
Monday night.
Monday night?
Monday night at 5:30. That's when my graphic designer will be here. Hopefully she's able.
Are we going?
This Monday?
Yeah. Actually, Monday night at 6. That's not bad.
I don't know, I don't think we are.
I will be.
What about the
If it's to do something fun, you can say.
Yeah,
What
we
about
Everything
the-
has to be work.
we have some family stuff.
Oh,
following Thursday, actually?
That next week, Thursday?
The
This,
23rd, no, we'll be gone to the St. Oscar.
the following Monday.
27th? Yes.
Not,
Plug it in.
not this Monday, but 2 Mondays.
The 27th?
Okay,
And I know for sure,
we're gonna be in.
Is it 27th? No, we'll be gone.
To the 26th. 25th to the.
Because we'll come back from the hot springs, aren't we leaving for Southern Utah on August?
Oh, yeah.
This weekend we're going to Southern Utah.
We'll be back then.
And
Okay.
then in August we're
2
going
weeks
to.
from Monday.
2 Mondays from next Monday.
And I would like to work with David to compile a email to you of all of our harebrained ideas so that we meet with your graphic design on Monday. Let's be thinking a little bit about.
Okay, well, it's to be just the logo and like the color scheme, right? That's what she's working on.
Well, yeah, I just had a structure. I'm just excited to start getting structural ideas.
We decide on the 27th, right?
So, at what time?
5:30 we can do.
And probably at the church estate.
Yeah.
So Mon's.
But you, Monday, you would be available on Monday at 5:30. You are? Okay.
Yeah, phone call. I don't know if I have,
I guess Skype's phone.
Cool.
'cause I already have a meeting on Monday with that group, and I'd like to start transitioning to focus on.
I'll try to decide whether. So it's like, here.
You said I like.
That's okay. They know.
Cool. Maybe you and I could put together like a formal presentation of our ideas.
That'd be good. I'd like that. It'll just inspire someone.
And then I don't know, if Jackie, if you want to go, see if you want to go. So, because of mine, what's the next Monday, right? That's when you're meeting? So can I just sign? It'll depend.
Honestly,
I know that.
I really like what she's done in the past and her artwork. I feel like her, it's very organic. That piece she did for the AFLA garden was very impressive, and I feel like utilizing you for that type of stuff. Like, sure, like, do you guys have a brochure? A poster?
I'm doing them on like, plant a week.
Without.
I
Well,
like
I would love.
They just take a while to fold. You just have to used to having fold parties. But still do.
Like once I get done with all of our marketing for the People's Choice Food Hub and putting that up, I have hella volunteers who we can have like if we can integrate both an AFLA and Revolutionary Work Day of like back end work, I'd be very okay with that. So we're like, oh, we put in our shirts, right? Maybe it's like every Wednesday because Wednesday is like my day to just bring all the volunteers in, have them make buttons, and stickers, old stuff, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Screen print.
We could even make these, what we're not talking about, they would be for the ticket page and pull up and turn it into awesome and easy. It could involve stuff that we're related to it. It's about community, it's about plants.
And what you just put them
And our
up
volunteers would be still to work on it together.
You just put them up throughout the community and stuff.
Well, yeah, we're gonna be picking up compost weekly anyways. If we are picking up compost weekly from places and we are bringing in a new seed every week or a new flyer every week or anything, that would be so cool for business owners. I think they'd super catch attention to the hard work and the message of it.
We can do shout out to volunteers.
Shout out to volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we, I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Does everybody want to say
Yeah. Just put it on the back of the seed.
No, I don't want to be.
No, I was totally playing. I actually played you right there. I was like thinking that would like you wanted
No,
to
that makes
spotlight.
sense. Personable and.
That was funny.
Yeah, the other day they're showing ways that people publish their own stuff, so it's just encouraging.
That's a library, right?
It's something.
It's the same.
It's
What's
more,
name?
press.
Alt Press is alternative press people who publish their own stuff.
Are
So
you gonna
it's
go
just, yes, heck yes. I know, I helped.
study
At the library.
Yeah, I helped one of the ladies print out her little zine. Hers was just beautiful. And they think we brought back a single one that we did. Tomorrow. Ultimate Press, Festival Collective. Oh, and there's also the Urban Press. This week-
Tonight is the art wall.
Artsy week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Urban Arts Fest is tomorrow.
So,
Where's that at?
So a couple things if I may.
Okay.
If you're working at graphic designer on Monday, then that's just great, do the sodium high, make it awesome. I would say keep our respective organizations, be out of it or in a tab developed by or something, so we can invite lots of people. And then just look way cool, which is what you're gonna have happen. And then just don't, and then we can change anything about the points, about where the market is done, right? When she does the graphics, is it going to have the tabs that are going to happen? Or is that, it's going to be programmed separate?
That's something program. But I mean, that's working with Michael and the graphic designer to make sure that she knows the parameters for the program.
Okay.
So Michael will be like, okay, so there's this tab, this size.
Could I please talk to Michael Peters about it, just to satisfy my curiosity? Okay, cool. I'd love to get his number figured out.
And we're done.
Do I get a chance to say one more thing?
4 minutes.
Did we cover everything agenda-wise?
No, we didn't cover the two hospitals, we organize our organization.
What? We got
Well, you said you're gonna
The
go.
comparative structure.
Comparative structuring, whether we go more hierarchical or if we can do things a little more linear. Are you able to take it to 5-10 minutes at the most if you want to?
I'll take 5.
Okay. Well, here's my idea. I wanted to separate the organization based on a concept I've had before that was color-based, just so we had kind of a memorable way to separate committees. So I used RGB, which red, green, blue. I think red as the artistic, the operational, the way things look. Green is the go programs. Blue is the voice, the advocacy, the marketing, the leadership, that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I was thinking if we have 3 committees, basically are able to overlook the whole thing. I really like the buddy system. I think that having a director, assistant director, and if that's kind of like the blue group, the leadership group, then I would want the artistic group would have an artistic director and someone who's basically on that same level that could fill either seat, just like a chair, vice chair, but for each of the major departments. Also, in the green department, we would have someone who really knows the agricultural side of what's going on, and also is really aware of the other programs and things that happen outside of it. They're both one of them's really into scheduling and like community affairs, the other one's just knows the watering schedule and all that, but they're both pretty much on the same page. Say we have an event that's going on, I mentioned this example earlier, we don't want to turn away someone who's a talented events coordinator because we've already picked someone else, when really we can work with lots of groups in the area. If we're raising money for a new permaculture art garden, and we have produced by Sketchcat, or produced by another group, okay, we have stuff like operations director, events coordinator, production manager, these phrases that people understand what those are. Or we can say things like the green zone is all about gardening. And so when you first start out with us, you're kind of in this pool of green light apprentice or a green light team lead, and like a green light project manager. So you're more like, it doesn't matter how many of each category there are, it's a little bit hierarchical based on like seniority and like skill and experience. The same thing there. With artistic stuff or promotion stuff, again, you have someone that's like, okay, I want to help AFLA. Of course I'll go spread some flyers around. You're a blue light advocate. I want to and find the scheduling for everybody and help more with the social media, the coordinating. Like you kind of see where I'm kind of getting at is
Yeah, so instead of having a director, having like a team of managers or a team of coordinators.
And then at the top of it, each one would have like a blue light project manager, or a red light project manager, or a green light project manager. That's the highest level, one that would be able to handle their own event, one that would be able to handle their own garden event, whatever. And they respond to our high-up buddy system in each color. So I would almost rephrase our terms of who we are. I would say it'd be a senior creative director and an artistic director of the office. I would say there'd be a senior project director and a director of operations. Great. I would say there'd be a senior advocacy director and a community programs manager. And they would have their little spots. And when we have someone who's stoked on events and promotion, here's how you get involved with that. But cool, now you're helping. Like you've shown some time. There's a little bit of the structure of how you now moved up. You're working with your friends on that, and I think there's a good balance there of who's answering to who. You still know who to call, but you don't feel devalued at all when it comes to the label. And there's no lack of opportunity. Like, and they're also not going to go nuts because you've got people and everyone learns the phrase off the top of the board, but that sounds great. As long as that's out there, and then you can really get people saying that stuff. So that's one option. The other is a little more hyper-based, where we take roles like they are the event coordinator, and they are the social media manager, and they are the this. And I don't know. This really sparked me because I just know what this guy out is, you know, probably right. And his friend Denny, and it was all of a sudden this table came around, and they're just all friends, and they're like, this is a tribe. This is another tribe of people that want to help, and it's like, what do I do? Sit down with my paper and be like, well, you get to be this one when I already have two other people I'm considering for it too. Well, really, I think this is where we can all work together because this is a movement.
It's more of like when you meet somebody, they have a color, and it's not really like it's defined by that. Like you don't need to just have one person that color. You need okay, this person sounds like they have still towards the red color, so let's try and utilize them there.
Exactly.
They're still set in that area, and have them collaborate with people who are in the blue color, in the green color, and then there's
It helps find the passions and it keeps the ability to allow larger collaborations. Anyways,
I think having One thing that I'm looking to do, and that I've already actually done, is having an online survey, to where like I want to do this, and then I put them directly with the individuals to help them facilitate those things as well. So it seems like having your senior whatever person, it seems like a good idea to have them, because there's a lot of people who are out in the community who are like, man, I really want to get into event coordination, but I don't know how to do it. So getting them to, work with this person and get them to eventually, when they're all in a smaller event. And having if you had a team of event coordinators do it, you'd kill it.
It just killed it. And also, if we've done this for long enough now, it's like, people should know, if they've done events for us that have gone well, that should give them some street cred to work for another organization, right? So at what point do people of our generation, our attitudes, at what point do we certify people in a sense? Like, can they put it on their resume and really understand that mean something? Like, I think we're getting closer to that. And if they go in as a blue light advocate or a blue light coordinator, it's almost like we're giving them workshops on how to become event managers. You know what I mean? So you spend the time to be like, hey, if you join up with us now on Flyer, we're going to spend some one-on-one time teaching you some of the social media techniques.
We also figured out how to incorporate social media. It's very
Cool.
But do you follow me on that too? Like, kind of offer them lessons and some of the more advanced things in order for doing some of the introductory stuff.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be fun.
Cool. On that note, proposal writing time. I move to adjourn the meeting.
David Turner, and I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's a real thing. If you were to say no, you gotta explain yourself. It's called filibustering. Meeting adjourned.